Perfect. All right, guys. So we have a couple of people on, and I'm sure we'll get a couple more if you were here last week. If you weren't, my name's Justin Rabinowitz, founder of Strive to Move. You guys probably know already. We're going to do a mobility class specifically for CrossFit. So if you just worked out, it's going to be a good cool down. The biggest thing that I always tell people when we're doing these classes is, yes, we're stretching, yes, we're doing mobility, but it's an assessment, right? So if you notice that something hurts, nothing we do here should hurt. If it hurts, that's not normal. It's awareness to let you understand. If we do something with your right hip and then your left hip and it doesn't feel the same, well, that's telling you something that there's a problem, right? And so even if you don't feel it, maybe when you're working out, we might tease it out here. So use it for that. All right, so as we go, I'll have my sound on. You guys can shout out to me if you have any problems. But then we'll get going from there. We'll do about 25, 30 minutes, nice in and out. And then at the end, if you have questions, we can do that. I'm just going to tuck my shirt in so you guys can see. All right, so let's go on all fours, quadruped position. So hands and knees here. And let's go back again. We're going to go back through a lot of what we did before. The mobility doesn't change, right? Hopefully your body does, and it does it better. So let's start by going through some nice, easy cat camels. If you've done yoga before, you've probably done them. So you want to round your back, tuck your chin down, and then you want to extend your back all the way. And round, and let's do about 10 of those. Round your back, and then extend your back all the way. And round, and extend. And you want to have a uniform curve. You want your whole back to extend and your whole back to flex. I'm a bad example because you can see I don't round very well through my low back. But the idea is everything should really round out and then extend. And round out and then extend. Round. Good. It should feel better as you're doing it. 2 or 3 more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now we're going to find a neutral spine. So this is what we do. We round out all the way. Do it with me. Round your back all the way. Now you're going to extend your back all the way. And now find neutral, halfway in between. Good. Let's do it again. Round your back all the way. Flatten your back all the way. Halfway in between. This is where you should be squatting. This is where you should be deadlifting from, this neutral position. Now, we're going to do a rock back. So let's go. I'll walk you through it. Round your back all the way. Flatten your back all the way. Find neutral. Maintaining neutral, you're going to push your butt back to your heels. Now, watch. Don't let this happen. And don't let this happen. Right? You're going to find neutral, and you're going to sit back, and you're going to fight. Use your abs to rock your heels back. And then come back. Your abs should be turned on. So sit back and then come forward. Let's do 15 of those. If you don't feel your abs working, you're not doing it correctly. So get your abs working. Keep those abs engaged.
Ruby, come. Ruby.
All right, so if you guys were here last week, we're going to add to this. So now we're going to do a rock back with a rotation. So check it out. You're going to rock back, and then watch when I come back forward, I'm going to rotate my leg out. So I'll show you from the side. I'm going to rock back, come forward, and then my leg is going to twist. So I feel my glute working. So I'm going to take and do like a windshield wiper, right? So watch me do one, and then we'll do it on each side. So watch me go through a set. I'm going to rock back, come forward, rotate my hip. Rock back, rock forward, rotate my other hip. Rock back, forward, rotate my hip. And we're going to do about 10 of these each side. You should feel your glute working. So rock back, come forward, and rotate. Rock back, come forward, and then rotate. There you go. Good. You should feel your glute working. Good. Windshield wiper that hip up and out. Good. Rock back, forward, and tilt that. There you go. Good. 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 Couple more. I know it feels funny, but it's good. I promise you. You're not on candid camera. Keep going.
It just feels good. No, it feels really good.
All right, 1 or 2 more. Now let's go. So what we just did, our knees were about shoulder width, a little wider. This time we're gonna widen our knees out even a little bit more. We're gonna try to stretch our groin muscles, our thigh muscles, our inner groin. So from here, I want you to widen out as much as you're comfortable. Your feet can go flat on the ground, and I'll show you from 2 angles. And you're just gonna sit back. And what I feel is my thigh stretching, my groin and my thigh stretching. So I'm working my hips out wider, as wide as you're comfortable. So from the side, my feet are gonna go, they're gonna be flat on the ground. I'm gonna work back this way. So I feel a stretch and mobility in my thighs and in my groin. So same thing, you're gonna go rock back, but now your knees are wide so that you feel your groin stretch. And groin, and then, good. Dave, work your hip. So try to do that and then sit backwards too. So rock backwards, so put your hands on the ground. And now rock backwards from there. Good, and sit your heels back up, your knees to your butt. Sorry, your butt to your heels. Further. So.
I can't do that.
Ruby, come on.
No? Then what?
Go all the way back.
Narrow your knees a little bit. Now try it.
Yep.
There you go. Good. Perfect. All right, do 2 or 3 more of those. And now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go wide with one and then straighten the other one out. So you're in this position. Okay? I'm going to put my hands on the ground and I'm going to rock back. It's another lengthening of the groin. It's a different groin muscle. So leg out to the side. If you can, I'm going to see how my foot is flat on the ground. And I'm going to start rocking back and coming forward. And rocking back and coming forward. And I feel this in my straight leg, all in this groin here. Good. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's switch sides. Again, as you're doing this, start feeling, hey, one side feels different than the other. They both feel the same. Good. Feel a good stretch on both sides. Keep working. Good. Sit back. Good. 5 or 6 more. 1, 2. Should be getting a little more mobility on each one. 3. This is what we need for squatting. This is what we need for lunging. All of that. 4, 5, 6. All right, good. Take a break. All right, we're going to get you out of that quadruped position, but we're going to go back to it because I want to get some pressure off your wrist. Remember our 90-90 from last week, okay? So if you weren't here, you don't remember, 90-90 is this position here. So we have our leg at 90 degrees and our back leg at 90 degrees, okay? Everyone get there. You can keep your hands on the ground, no problem. And as you see, the middle of my logo is in the middle of my knee. So I'm bisecting right here. I don't want to be twisted. I don't want to be twisted, okay? Make sure that your foot is flat, straight ahead. Now from there, we're going to work on a hip stretch on this side. But watch, what I'm not going to do is this. I'm not going to sink down like this. I'm going to bring my logo to you, right towards my camera, okay? So let's start rocking back and forth. As you start getting comfortable with that, what we should feel is a stretch on this front side. Now, I'm going to talk you through some subtleties as you're going. Keep working. You guys look great. Dave, neutral spine. So chest up, none of this, okay? Yep, there you go, like you're doing a deadlift. So that's what I'm going to talk you through now. Remember, we found neutral spine. Rules don't change, right? So I'm upright and I'm tall. See how I'm working forward? I'm not arching my back. I'm not flexing my back. I'm staying neutral, and I'm now, this is a hip movement versus a back movement, okay? This is a hip movement. Yeah, good, excellent. Yeah, way better. Think about, Dave, think about taking your logo and bringing it straight that way, this way. There you go, good. And now start rocking back and forth. If that's really easy for you, here's what you should do. You should take your front knee and you should push it down into the ground very hard. So right now, I'm putting pressure down. That's gonna activate your glute as you're stretching. So push that knee down and start to rock forward. Not with your hand, I want you to push your knee. So right now I'm trying to crush something with my knee.
Okay.
So pushing down hard and squeezing. Pushing down hard and squeezing. Good, let's switch sides.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. Get our first casualty.
Sorry.
All right, let's go start the other side. I did this with a different gym last week, and there was a guy, he had his AirPods in, and we did that cat camel thing, and he had just tweaked his back. So I said, all right, flex and extend, and all of a sudden I just hear, oh, through. It was ridiculous. All right, forward and back. Remember, you're not hunching, no hunching, okay? Chest tall. Use your hands if you have to. I'd rather you keep your hands on the ground and keep good posture. Okay? Hands on the ground. I'd rather you keep good posture. Good. Okay. Now, we're going to do the reverse from that position. So check this out. You see my hand, for me, it's my left arm. Look what my right hand's going to do. It's going to go from being here to being behind me. And now I'm going to lean backwards, but I'm not doing this. I'm not arching my back, right? I'm squeezing my hip forward. I'm squeezing my butt cheek, pushing my butt cheek forward, and then I'm leaning back. Now I feel a stretch in my front hip. I feel activation of my backside glute, okay? Yeah, move over a little bit just so I can see, because is your back knee bent? Is your back knee this way or this way? Make sure it's bent to 90 degrees. Yeah, Yamnia. Yes, yeah.
My knee bent? Yes.
Okay, good. Now start to lean backwards this way. Yeah, there you go. Now you're in the screen. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. You should feel it here, front of the back hip.
I do.
Good. And so lean back and lean forward. Now, if you're just leaning back here like you're having a cocktail, what I want you to do is squeeze this back butt cheek, okay? Squeeze the butt cheek and then go. Again, I want you to show you what this means. This is the same position as you standing up in a deadlift or standing up in a kettlebell swing, okay? You're squeezing your glute and extending at your hips. That's the same position, okay? Back and forward. Good, and now let's switch sides. So now I have my other leg back, my glute is gonna squeeze, and I'm gonna start to lean backwards. And I feel a big stretch in the front of my hip, and I'm activating my glute. And lean back and come forward. Good. All right, good. Shake it out. We're going to go back to our quadruped. Okay, hands and knees. We're going to get some wrist action now. All right, so hands under your shoulders. We're going to start to just rock yourself forward and then rock yourself back. So I'm leaning forward and I'm coming back. As I told you guys last week, for me, as I do this, I feel more tightness on my left side than my right side. Important to note. As you guys start doing a lot of inversion, I saw some of you had handstands in your program, this becomes important. If you can't bear weight on one wrist versus the other, eventually you're going to have a problem. Okay, so you've gone forward and back. Now let's start making circles. Okay, big circles. So you should get into those corners of those joints. Nicole, don't get too hyperextendy on your elbows, okay? Keep it a little bend. Circle one way, then circle back the other way. All right, cool. Now we're going to get a little neck stretch in, so check out the screen from the same position. We're going to be in neutral. What I'm going to do is think about someone taking the back of your head, pulling it up to the ceiling, so it's like a double chin. Tuck your head back, and then from there, you're going to rotate, and you're going to rotate. So watch. I'm going to exaggerate it. I'm going to tuck my chin back. I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to rotate. Okay? Tuck my chin back, and rotate, and rotate. So everyone try it. So tuck your chin back. So if you have a ponytail, it's like someone on the ceiling pulling your head straight back, like into what I call it a military neck. Good, and then rotate, and then rotate. I can tell you, why is this important? I was doing an assessment today on a competitive CrossFitter, and at the bottom of his deadlift, every single time, he was in this position. So we had to teach him to get his head into that position, which was at neutral neck, so he didn't hurt his neck. So tuck your chin, and then let's get a nice rotation each way. Tuck your chin back, and then twist. Good. Tuck, and then rotate. Might feel a little crackly, a little creaky in there. That means we should probably do a little more of this, right? The problem that I see with people with neck problems is that if something hurts, they don't do it, and then they stop doing it, and then eventually they can't do it. And that's the problem in the neck. We don't know we have a problem because we don't even, then we realize we can't even look up anymore because it hurts too much. All right, good. Shake that out. We're going to keep going. Let's go back into our 90-90, but we're just going to sit on our butt, and we're going to put our hands behind us and our feet at about this far out in front of you at about a 45-degree angle. And we're going to just start working some hip rotations. Ideally, what's going to happen is your butt bones are going to stay on the ground, and you're not going to twist at your back. So let me show you a bad one. See how I'm rotating, my belly button's moving all over the place, my butt's coming off the ground, versus only my hips. Check it out. Hip rotation. Hip rotation.
So your butt is not moving
Together. You should feel it only in your hip joints. Good. Good. All right, now let's work into some flows and transitions, okay? So we're going to go from our hip rotation into our 90-90. And then we're going to go hip rotation into our other 90-90. So let me get you. So rotation, rotation. You can use your hands. Use your hands for now. Rotation, rotation. Good. If that's easy for you, the first thing that I want you to do is once you rotate around, hands off the ground. Pause. Now, go back, hands behind you, switch to the other side. Hands off the ground. Hands behind you, switch to the other side. Hands behind you, switch to the other side. Okay, if that's easy, no hands at all. Come on, David, you got it. You got it. Go. Atta boy. Good. Don't fall into your car. Keep going. You're doing good. Excellent. Perfect. Very, very good. Very good. Very good. All right, good. Take a break.
Aye.
Excellent. Excellent job. Okay. Now we didn't do this last week, but we're gonna hit some ankle work today for you guys that are squatting. So I'm a terrible example of this because my ankles are shit. So bear with me. We're gonna go in a kneeling position here. Okay? So half kneeling. You're gonna put all of your weight and pressure onto your front leg. So I want you to just lean on this side. And then from there, I'm gonna keep my heel down, and I'll show you from a different angle. And I'm gonna lean forward and lean back. So I'll show you from this way. I'm gonna put pressure on my front leg. I'm gonna go forward, and I'm gonna go back. What I'm making sure of is that my knee is gonna be in line with my third toe. I don't want it to cave in, okay? So I'm gonna go forward, and I'm gonna go back. Ideally, what you should feel is a calf or Achilles stretch. Okay, go ahead, let's go. Half kneeling position, knee over toe. Start working your knee over your front side. Good. Knee over toe. So if you're generally a pretty good squatter, you probably do this well. If you suck at squatting like I do, this is very hard for you. Keep going. Try to keep that heel on the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. If you feel better in lifters, that could potentially mean that you have an ankle mobility problem, not always. But I know I always feel better in lifters because my ankles are stiff. So this helps with that. Lean forward, put some weight on that thing. So in my experience, if you have stiff or tight ankles, it's one of the harder joints to mobilize to get permanent results on. I find hips and shoulders a lot easier to get results. Yeah, David, I actually like that idea. Get that ankle mobility, and what you should feel is a nice calf or Achilles stretch. Good. 3, 2, 1. All right, good. Everyone stand up. We're going to do some standing shoulders to finish. We haven't done that. We didn't do this last week. So you guys can see me. All right, now we're going to do some shoulder rotations. They seem pretty easy. However, what I want to make sure of is that whatever arm we're working, the other arm is going to lock your rib cage down, because most people, when they do this, they start to bring their arm up, and I'll exaggerate, they do this. They extend at their back, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my middle finger, and I'm going to draw the biggest circle that I can all the way around me without doing this, without doing this, without rotating my body, okay? So straight ahead, grab your ribs. We're going to do 5. Let's do them together. So right side first. I want you to make a big circle. Reach the sky, reach the sky, reach the sky, reach the sky. Rotate your hand back. Keep your ribs forward. Good. 1. We're going to do 5. Reach, 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 reach. Good. 2. Reach to the sky like you're doing a handstand. 3. 4. 5. Good. Let's switch. You should feel the same on both sides, ideally. Okay? Grab your ribs, lift, reach, reach to the sky, up, 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 up. I rotate my arm around, and I bring it through. Good. David, looks up straight ahead, bud. No caving here. Yep, good posture. Attaboy. Good. 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 Nicole, hand on ribs so we don't get any of this. Almost think about engaging your abs. So everyone should kind of have a little bit of abs right now. If your abs aren't engaged, you're probably moving at your spine like we don't want you to. So get a little bit of abs. You should always think about, that's why, there's a difference between doing this and doing straight up yoga. Yoga, a lot of times our core isn't engaged, we're stretching to end range. It's not bad for you, different though. This, we're controlling the core and mobilizing the joints around it. Good. We're going to go back to the right side. You're going to go the opposite direction, okay? So I just went clockwise. I'm going to go counterclockwise on the right. So I'm going to reach behind me as far as I can and basically do a swimming stroke all the way up and around. Reach it up all the way up and around, round, around. Good. If this is easy for you, it should stand. That's good. This is a nice test to say, all right, my shoulders are moving pretty well. Now, if this is challenging for you and you feel like you're getting stuck, potentially there's an issue there. You're having trouble establishing end ranges of motion. Last one. Good. If you don't like this, if this is tough, that's when we start looking at, all right, well, where is this a challenge? Let's call it kipping pull-ups. We're asking you to get to end range shoulder position, but you right now don't have the ability to move your shoulder freely. So again, I'd rather find it out here than when you go and try to throw your weight out on a bar. All right, let's go the other arm, left arm. Up and over and around.
I could barely go around with the left arm.
Up, over,
So hard.
and around. Reach back, 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 back. Good, 2 more. Reach back, up, over, and around, last one. Good. All right, let's just do some quick pelvic tilts and we're done, I promise. All right, we're gonna hug a tree. Here's what this looks like. This is gonna be working on pelvis. So We're gonna hug a tree. We're gonna round our back. We're gonna squeeze our butt. You should feel a stretch all the way through your spine. Squeeze your butt cheeks, round your back out, and then come back to neutral. I'm gonna hug a tree. I'm not gonna push my butt back. I'm gonna tilt my pelvis underneath. Tilt your pelvis, round your back, hug a tree, and then come back to neutral. Tilt, good. Big stretch. I feel a big stretch all through here. Hug a tree, relax. Round. Good. Round, squeeze your butt. Good, 2 more. 1. 2. Good. Whew. All right, so today we went through, just to review with everyone, we went through spine stuff. So I can tell you when I started doing some of the cat-cow, my spine was stiff. As I did more, it loosened up. If that's the case, that's a good thing. It probably means you should do some more of it. If it feels like crap absolutely the whole time, you probably have some sort of issue that you might want to take a look at. Again, this is about building awareness for you. Then we moved into some hip stuff. So we moved into core with hip flexion and then some hip rotation. Then we moved into your 90-90 to go hip rotation and glutes. We worked some wrist stuff, we worked some shoulder stuff, and then we finished up with some pelvis and some core. All right, so we hit a lot of areas and we also hit ankles today. So does anyone have any questions before we go? Not today? Good. Sure? David, good job, bud. That's tough for you.
I feel so much better than when I started.
Good. No, listen, it's so this is a nice cool down you just worked out, but the difference between this and then just I want you to know the subtleties between this and just random stretching is for us, we want to make sure, especially when you're doing CrossFit, that you have a little bit of stability, like so understanding how to stretch but still stabilize your core. That's really what the game is, and that's how you're going to stay safe doing CrossFit, right? So rather than just kind of randomly just stretching muscles back, it's all right, let's activate our core first and then let's stretch, okay? So very subtle, a little bit of a difference. It's not straight up lifting weights and it's not straight up yoga. It's a little bit of a mix of the two.
Can you point out something that that I really need to work on that you saw?
Your right shoulder, as you were bringing it back, you could see you were losing that shoulder extension. And then when you were doing your hips, the biggest thing that I saw with your hips was this. You're having trouble separating your spine from your hip position. So as you went forward every single time, this happened. I rounded my back.
Got it.
Which basically tells me, so what that tells me is that most likely what's happening is that when you're deadlifting, when you're going to hinge your hip, you're probably also subtly, probably can't even see it, but subtly rounding out your back.
Okay.
So I look at that as something for you to start working on in the ground position where you go to this position here, this doesn't move. This is stable, right?
Right.
Watch what I do. I start to move my body forward so I feel a stretch in my hip as opposed to sinking down and kind of just rounding forward this way.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. Thank you.
So a couple of ways you can do that. Don't be afraid to use your hands, okay? So you don't have to be like this. I prefer you to use your hands. You get a stable base to allow you to be upright and then start working forwards. As you get better at it, then you can start taking hands away. But use your hands, even if you have the kettlebell, even if you need something to push you up a little bit higher, that's fine too. I don't care. But use something because I want you to work that posture and then that hip mobility. That's going to help you with your squat. It's called, the term for it is dissociation, right? So when you deadlift and squat, you want to move your hips, but not move your spine.
Got it.
If they're moving together, one's going to get hurt.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Cool. Anybody else have any questions? No, we're good?
What?
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week, okay?
Yeah, thank you for your time.
If you need anything, let me know.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys.
Bye. Where is my?